Hi, Ricky Gadson here. This is an instructional video for anyone who's bought the RG62 Performance Plus kit and wants to know how they can install their gears, their new gears, into the H2. I wouldn't suggest you doing this if you don't have any experience with mechanics on a motorcycle. Take it to somebody who's really qualified to do it, because these are very critical. You're dealing with a supercharger, and everything has to be taken apart correctly and put back together correctly. So I do not recommend you doing this if this is not something that you're comfortable doing, that you do all the time, work on motorcycles. Alright, so here we go. As you can see, I've already taken the lowers off just to make it a little bit easier, and now we're going to continue. And all you basically need to do this job is a 3mm Allen, a 5mm Allen, a 6mm Allen, and an extension with a swivel on it, quarter inch. I use a quarter inch of swivel because there's not going to be much room when we start taking off the Supercharger chain tensioner, which is just like a cam chain tensioner. So those are the main things you need. Of course, you need your air gun for your basket. I'm spoiled. I like to use electric tools. Faster. I wouldn't suggest you using them, especially put it back together, unless you have a good feel for how tight stuff is. You can strip the bolts really easily. When you take this apart, you want to make sure there's a washer inside of here. There's a washer inside there along with the needle bearing. You want to make sure that you don't lose that. There's your washer and there's your needle bearing. Take the push rod out, put everything back together so you know how it goes back in. Alright, and always make sure you put something down here to catch if anything falls down, so it don't go in the motor. So at this point, we're going to take, like I said, we're going to take the whole clutch assembly apart. Just that easy, the whole clutch assembly apart. Don't forget you got your needle bearing here. Alright, it has to go in. And also, when you put it back together, you have to line these holes up. These holes, you have to line them up with the holes on the back of this basket. One hole, two holes. You got a pinhole there, a dowel pin there, and a dowel pin there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the supercharger cover off. It's a 5mm Allen. And always make sure you put your bolts where you know where they are. I know where every bolt goes, so it doesn't matter, but kind of lay them out on the ground so you know which bolt goes where when you put it back together. Easy thing to do is just sit them inside the cover. Alright, so now I'm going to take these two bolts out right here, which holds the guide. And when you take them off, you got to make sure there's like pins inside here that line them up that stop the, that actually stops the plastic from compressing. So you'll see when I pull it out. But these things fall out really easy. So there's the guide, and then I take the bolt out. You'll see the pin right there, and it'll just fall out the back side. So you want to be careful not to lose that. It always goes in back from the back side forward like that. You got two of them. Really important not to lose those. Other than that, you can over tighten this plastic and crush it. Alright, from this point here, now we got to take the Supercharger chain tensioner off. This is never fun. Never fun. I've done it too many times. First thing you want to do is you want to take the injector wire off right here. That'll give you a little bit more room because you got an Allen that's here and you got an Allen that's behind here on the back side, which is super hard to get to. It's like there's no room. Let's see if I can show you better. Is once you get the wire off, is I got this little tool here that helps me get in there and behind it to start hand loosening it, and then once I get it loose, then I use my little steel ratchet, a little electric ratchet, and work it out the rest of the way. It's not easy, that's for sure. Thing you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure you have a magnet around, because if you drop one of these bolts back down in there, it won't be a good day. I promise you. It helps you get it out without dropping it. Number 2 out. Now, I will tell you that this took me hours to do the first time. That just getting that one cam chain tensioner, well, it's not a cam chain, but the chain tensioner out, because of how hard it is to get to. And now I have like a little method since I've done it so many times. There's the gasket that I'm talking about. Alright. To reset it, it's like a cam chain tensioner when you go to reset it. You have to squeeze on this and spin it at the same time. And once you get it, and oil is going to keep coming out of it, because of course this is oil filled. You got to have oil in here or else the cam chain will break. But you keep compressing it until you get this all the way down to where these clips are, and then you lock the clips in and keep this compressed. That way you can put it back in. Sure the RG62 faces you, then you know you got to turn the right direction. problem getting the gear on is because the tension, the guide that I told you didn't have to remove that's up there, that's in your way. So you got to push that up out the way and get underneath of it. Make sure the chain is underneath the guide. Then everything should go on that much easier. And if you notice, this gear here, when you push it on, it doesn't go all the way into the back. It goes always back as far as it'll go, but if you look here, there's teeth showing. And it looks like it's not all the way on, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Now if you notice from the factory, this top gear has loctite on it. Now if you look in the directions that come with the RG62 kit, there are instructions and it also gives you torque measures and torque settings for each of these bolts. Make sure you follow those torque settings. I already have my air pressure set to where I need the torque settings to be. And we want to make sure we don't activate it while we put it in and make it release right away. I always use my magnet right here to put my bolts back in. It just makes it easier for me. Because if you drop this bolt, it's going to be a bad day. If you drop it back there, it's going to be even worse. Make sure again that both of these pins are back in. Now we'll get in here and we'll start tightening down the tension. Again, I use my trusty Skill 1/4 inch ratchet with a 6-inch extension with a 1/4 inch 5mm Allen. forget to put your injector wire back on. We got the guide back on. We got the chain tensioner back on. We got both bolts tightened. Torque the specs. Don't forget to torque the specs. And now it's time to put it back together. The next thing you want to do is activate your cam chain tensioner, your chain tensioner. And basically all you got to do is take and hit up a couple times on the guide, the chain guide, and it'll lock, and you'll see the chain just get tight real quick. So now it activated that, so it's keeping pressure on it. Probably would do that anyway if you spun it over once or twice, but this is just visually making sure that it's working. And like I told you, these two dowel pins have to line up with these two pins here. Alright, so make sure that you got it sitting right up in there. And if you look at this from this side, this actually shows you exactly where this indenture right there actually shows you where that dowel pin needs to go. And when you got it right, you'll feel it locked in place. Both dowel pins are locked in. It's real important to make sure that those dowel pins are locked in. Once you do that, you can slide your needle bearing. Slide that inside. Now everything's set. Now, always put your washer. Your washer goes in next. Doesn't matter which side. Next, you want to put your inner hub in. There you go. That's the back part of it, because this has a slipper clutch in it. So that's why these have the grooves in it, for the slipper clutch to work. Then you want to take and put the inner part back in, and remember, these got teeth on it, right? They got dogs on it, just like a transmission. And they're like actually back cut. And they go right inside of there. I just felt it go in. Locked in. Now, you want to take and put this setup in. See the shoulder on that? That shoulder goes inside of these. There we go. You put your nut on. I always like to take and get all the oil off the nut. off. And these are not actually made to have Loctite on them. But you got to use air. And you can't really tighten this up until we get the clutches in it, because all it'll do is keep spinning. Alright, so now we'll start putting our clutches in. After the second steel goes in, you got two spanner rings that goes in. You got a flat one, and then you got one that's beveled. Flat one goes in first, after the second steel, and then the beveled one goes in with the concave side facing you. So there it is right there. Goes in with the bevel part going inward like that. And if you notice, this clutch is different than the rest of it. This clutch is so that it'll fit around those spanner rings. Those are actually chatter rings. There you go. And we'll just finish putting the clutches in now. About done. We're going to go ahead and tighten up that nut before I forget. Like I said, let's tighten this up. Use our air gun. Hook to the right air supply. I turn my regulator up. Now rod back in. Don't forget these needle bearing. The needle bearing has to go in there. And then, last but not least, gotta put this washer back on. And then we'll put her back together. Do now, put our trusty clutch cover back on. Be careful with using electric or air to put a cover back on. It's very easy to strip the bolts. I've been doing this for a long time, so I know how much pressure to put on it. I know how much torque my wrench has. So see, I don't lean on it. Once it stops, I don't go any further, and then I do the rest by hand. I'll come back and check it by hand. Supercharger cover back on. Once we do that, you just got upgraded.